Howdy doody duties. You know, there was a young preacher that was beginning his first ministry in a church that had been assigned to him up in the cattle country of Montana. And this was going to be his first Sunday in the pulpit anywhere. But a blizzard hit the night before, and it was still snowing and raging on Sunday morning. When he came up to the lectern at his church, he looked out, and in his congregation he only had one person, and it was a tough old cowboy like a rancher sitting there. And he said, the preacher said, "You, sir, seem to be the only parishioner here. I really don't know what to do." Well, the old rancher said, "If I had only one cow in my corral, I'd at least feed it." So the young minister, he just lit right into his sermon, and he talked for a few minutes, and then he got really inspired, and he preached over an hour going full steam. When he brought his talk, and I mean he brought it to a fiery close, he was feeling pretty proud of himself, and he leaned over the pulpit and he said to the old rancher, "How was that?" And the old cowboy said, "Well, if I saw only one cow in my corral, I would feed it all right, but I'd never give her all the hay in the barn at one time." I guess that old boy felt a little bit inadequate. Did you ever feel inadequate? You know, the feeling of inadequacy in our lives can really overpower us. But we have within us a God-given ability to make us more than adequate. Spirit gives us the strength, the power, and the joy to press forward under any circumstance to obtain any goal that we set for ourselves. We need to do our part, though, by lifting ourselves up to function at the highest possible level. And the way to do that is to accept the spiritual realization of who we are. Sometimes getting ourselves on this spiritual plane is somewhat difficult because our five physical senses are looking out into our world, and they see all kinds of chaos and trials and confusion and tribulations, obstacles that seem to block the path to the higher good that is our birthright. Now's the time to remember that path to get to your highest good starts when you do your part. And you remember what that was. Jesus said this about us, which you sometimes can find hard to believe if you think it's the old-fashioned stuff, but here it is. He said, "These things I do, you shall do also, and greater than these shall ye do." And that's in John, the 14th chapter, the 12th verse. Look it up for yourself, and you'll see he meant it. And simply recognizing your spirit within you can and will lift you above any reservation that you may hold about your potential. You can lift yourself above the doubting part of you, and you can elevate your very being to a level of identity that allows you to utilize the power of your true nature. Christ, God's individual name for us, He revealed it in the Old Testament. Christ means God in man as man. It was stated first at the time God gave Moses the assignment to go into Egypt and bring the children of Israel out. You know what Moses' brilliant response was? He says to God, he says, "Who am I to do this?" Well, sometimes that's the way we all face life. We say, "Who am I to be able to handle this challenge or to accomplish this goal?" Well, friends, God said it to Moses then, and it's what God says to us now. "I'm always with you." A lot of people go to church every week. But what is a church? A real church doesn't need to be a physical edifice into which we enter to build our spirits and to commune with each other and fellowship with the ideas of our spiritual teaching. It's the inner church of spiritual awareness and knowing, A church not made with hands and above human thinking. And that's what we try to do for you here at the Winchester Cathedral on your internet. Now, if you want an exhilarating experience that I assure you will be transforming in your individual life, enter a place of spiritual consciousness every morning when you first get up, when you rise up and wake up, and then ponder the reality of your Creator and your oneness as a child of God. Just think about it. Let this spiritual knowledge integrate itself not only into your mind, but down deep into the depths of your soul, from the soles of your feet to the top of your head and all through your being, where it takes over as an unconscious knowing about yourself. The knowledge about who you really are can't be given to you by a human. It has to be just like Jesus said in